Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Child Care Director's Chair podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. We have an amazing episode for you today. We talk a lot about leadership on this podcast, and you might be wondering, where do I find these leaders in my program? So let me ask you this. Have you ever walked past the break room to see a quiet teacher eating her lunch alone? Well, the one who never causes drama, does her job, and then goes home? What if I told you she might just be your next superstar? In today's episode of the Child Care Director's Chair, we're talking about how to spot hidden gems on your team. The ones who aren't loud, flashy, or attention seeking, but are quiet, waiting to be discovered. This isn't just about giving people more to do. It's about developing the kind of leaders who make your center shine from the inside out. Let's talk about turning untapped potential into leadership goals. How do you recognize these hidden gems on your team? Because not all leaders start loud. Some just start loyal. So here are some signs of hidden potential. They're consistent. They're dependable. They don't require you to micromanage them. They show up early, they do what's asked, and they take pride in small details that others might overlook. They care about the team and the children, even if they're not the center of attention. You may catch them comforting a coworker after a hard day or adjusting a bulletin board without being asked. Here's what you want to listen for. They ask smart questions, even if they don't speak up often. They have like a quiet curiosity. And that is often a sign of leadership readiness. They show emotional intelligence in subtle ways. Like watch how they handle conflict, how they redirect a child, or how they respond under pressure. That's definitely a great one to look for. Why are they often overlooked? Because they're not, quote unquote, performers. These team members may not volunteer ideas in meetings or chase recognition, but they are building the habits of leadership quietly in the background. Now, there are some flags you might want to look for. Red flags versus green flags for growth potential. Because not everyone who wants leadership is ready. And not everyone who's ready will say they want it. So here are some green flags. They take initiative without overstepping, like they're organizing supplies, they're mentoring a new hire, or they're offering feedback in a respectful way, or they respond well to feedback. Instead of becoming defensive, they reflect and they adjust. They problem solve instead of just reporting them. They might say, I noticed a few parents were confused this morning. We could try XYZ next time. Now, here are some red flags to watch out for. They want the title, but not the responsibility. They talk about, quote unquote, being in charge, but not about serving or how they improve others. And here's a huge red flag for me. They resist accountability. Blame shifting, excuse making, or avoiding growth conversations, and they lack follow through. Oh my God, I can't stand the lack of follow through. When you take the time, you give someone a task, you've delegated, you've explained it clearly, and then nothing happens. Or they thought, oh, you want it all the time like that, not just the one time. Yeah, so lack of follow through. Great ideas, but no execution is a sign that they need more foundational development before becoming a leader. So here's a little bonus tip for you. Don't confuse extroversion with readiness. Loud does not equal capable, and quiet doesn't equal weak. So why confidence equals competence? You don't grow confidence by talking about it. You grow it by building it. Confidence is a byproduct of opportunity. Many team members don't know what they're capable of because nobody has invited them to try. So give them a chance to lead a staff huddle, train a new team member, or run a classroom project. Micro wins equals micro growth. So start small. When they succeed in low-stake leadership roles, their belief in themselves expands. Confidence is layered like bricks. Each small success builds on the next. And a key connection, the more competent someone feels, the more confident they become, and the more they're willing to step into leadership roles. If someone doubts themselves, it's your job to show them what's possible. Not just tell them, but show them. How do you even approach staff development with fresh eyes? Stop looking for ready-made leaders. Start developing potential from the ground up. Shift from who's ready to who's rising. Look for people who are growing, not perfect. Potential often hides in effort, not experience. So rethink how you're doing your one-on-ones and your check-ins. Add development questions like, what are you curious to learn next? Or if you could improve one part of the center, what would it be? And you know, the cool thing about that is when you ask them if they have an answer ready to go, that tells you they've been thinking about it or they've been waiting for that opportunity. Maybe even what's one role that you'd be interested in growing into? And when you ask those questions, they may have not ever been asked those questions at other places. So that might be one that isn't right at the tip of their tongue, but I promise you they'll get back to you pretty quickly. And challenge your own bias. Are you favoring louder personalities or those who mirror your own leadership style? Make space for quiet strength, introvert confidence, and alternative leadership styles, which I think helps you have a well-rounded team. So I want you to create a watch list for future leaders. The glow up starts when you start paying attention. What is a leadership watch list, you might ask? Well, it's a simple, intentional list of staff members you believe could be developed into future leads, coaches, and managers. Excuse me. Criteria for your list, you want to think about growth mindset, their professionalism under pressure, their willingness to learn and receive coaching, and even their natural influence over peers, even when it's done quietly. What to do once you have it. Pair each person with a mentor or development goal. This could be shadowing a lead teacher, attending a leadership webinar, or taking ownership of a project. Meet quarterly to reassess and reflect. Leadership growth is not a one and done. It's a process that requires ongoing investment. So there are some things to look for. So today at lunchtime, go hit that break room and see who's in there, what conversations are going on, and pay attention to the quiet ones. Because your next leader isn't hiding, they're waiting. Here's what to do next. Make a watch list of 3 staff members you have overlooked, but believe might have leadership gold inside of them. Start a conversation with each one, not a promotion offer, a development offer. Ask about their goals, their interests, and how you can help them grow. Screenshot this episode, tag me at CCDC podcast with the caption, I'm looking for the glow up in my break room, so I can cheer you on. And remember, leaders aren't born, they're built. And they're often built in the quiet corners of your center. So go find them. Have a great day.